Hey, Quants. I hope everyone had a good holiday for those who celebrate. I personally did have a good holiday. Ate way too much apple pie, and I am looking forward to getting back and getting some good kickboxing workouts in and shaving off all the apple pie that I enjoyed. So today will be a fairly quick one before I go too far, because I've started to record this and then realized that my video wasn't working correctly, and so now I'm re-recording it, and I had forgot some things. So a couple of things, just quick updates. I did dial in some settings for recording off the grid gameplay. I don't think that's something people are very interested in, but it's something that I will probably do just as a kind of a reprieve from all the other stuff that I normally do. And I was doing that on the recordings worked well when I was doing it on or worked fairly well considering the setup I had for the Sui Play device and also the Seeker phone. But I want to also do that on the computer just because that's going to be more natural for how I like to do things, or how I would generally play, even though I don't generally play games that much. So I do think I have a decent setup for that. The recordings were kind of screwy at first, but I think I got them hammered out or nailed down to where I can at least get something out that I can share with everyone else. The other thing that I wanted to mention is escaping me right now. I have been doing a lot of building lately. If you're part of the Prime AI group, we did do a new release. There was a ton of updates that I'd been working on that. And so I'll be back to building here shortly, which is one of the reasons I'm a little disappointed I have to record this video again. But hey, that's what it is. And I still want to get this video out. So if you're in there, or if you want to try it out, go, hit up the website. All the links in that are going to be in the description. You can go to get a 7-day free trial. We're also, Krown is running a promotion on that one. So you can check out the Black Friday promotion if you want to get that for a little bit more time without paying all the money up front, a little bit more time than just the 7-day free trial. And so that thing is getting pretty full in terms of the features that we have. You can do a whole bunch with that stuff, and we have some excellent people in the Discord community to help out with that stuff as well. So if anybody has questions, there's lots of people to help out. And of course, I'm in there as well. Although generally I'm trying to work on building, so I usually don't hang out in there too much unless you're actually messaging me directly, in which case I am happy to get in there and respond. But we do have people that are very comfortable with the tools and can help you out a lot. So moving on, I'm just going to go over the DCA strategy here. This is the monthly DCA strategy. There's a video on all the specifics of this. This is a free indicator that you can get, and you can plug it into the tools that we offer with Prime AI. Or if you build your own tools, you can just use this indicator yourself. Or if you just want to sit here and look at it and watch it yourself and kind of do paper trading with it, or use pencil and paper, you can do that as well. So the previous video, so this will look kind of good, I guess, since the previous video, the most recent buy was actually down, mostly flat. It was down about 0.2%. Obviously, the month just ticked over, and so we're probably going to be around flat unless Bitcoin makes a crazy decision to go up really fast or down really fast. The previous two buys, we are down, and in the context of a DCA strategy like this, that's just going to come with the way that these things generally work. So this one is currently configured. It's not optimized. I didn't look for better strategies. Having said that, there were some individuals in the Discord community that did build strategies that looked much better than this one just out of the box. So you can get in there and check those out if you are interested in trying to just find some other ideas. But the tool itself is pretty easy to use, and so I think you could probably figure things out yourself. But my point about that, these being underwater, so when you're buying as the price is going down, that is generally what's going to happen. You're going to end up, and that is also why we just don't put all of our money to work on one specific trade when we're using a DCA type of strategy like this. So we had a buy at 107, 107K, 114K, and then the most recent one was just around 90K. And that's the one that's mostly flat right now, but looks like it just turned green. And so that was at the 30% buy level. The previous two were at the 10% buy level. So Well, I'll keep watching this. Oh, I did show the equity curve. This one has a pretty nice equity curve, but it's really slow because this is on the monthly time frame. So this is probably more of an investor type strategy. However, it does also, what's different about this compared to other DCA strategies is there's a few ways that you can determine to sell. And the idea behind that is to try and optimize the strategy so you're not just buying and holding forever and that's all you ever do, although that would be viable as long as you're playing an asset that you have conviction in that it's going to essentially go up over time in the context of years. Then just buying and holding is totally fine. But this one tries to also optimize a little bit by selling when we get close to or when we see some higher percentage gains as well, and then that way we would have more money to buy back in later. And so just a little bit of an optimization there. And personally, I kind of like that type of strategy myself. So getting back over to the master strategy. The master strategy as it stands is still looking bullish in the sense that everything, all the bearish check marks are there. None of the bullish check marks are there on the daily time frame. However, as I've mentioned in the past, that doesn't mean you can't do counter trend trades. I've mentioned that I personally tend to be long biased. I don't do a lot of shorting. So if you are shorting, you can use this the same way that you use it going long. You're just going to use the bearish signals instead of the bullish signals. So one potential option would have been to short when you got here. However, this wasn't a clean touch. And so if you're playing it strictly systematically, you probably wouldn't have got in here unless you have already tested some offset from these 200s that would have got you into the market. So I'm personally still expecting that we will get a touch of the 200s. Of course, over time, I do expect that to happen, but just to clarify a little more, I'm expecting a touch of the 200s before we go into a full-on bear market. And I'm not trying to predict exactly when we will go into a full-on bear market. I'm just saying I would expect it if we are going to go on to a full-on bear market in the next few months, I would expect a clean touch of the 200s before that happens. And so I personally am kind of expecting that to happen within the next 1 to 3 months. And price action as it stands right now looks pretty good for a continuation up to the 200s. So obviously, I'm not calling for a touch of the 200s tomorrow, but I do expect within the next 1 to 3 months we'll see that. And we did get a pretty bearish candle play out yesterday. It bearish in the sense that it was a fairly big down candle or sell candle. However, we did get a lot of buying towards the bottom there, and we're seeing a lot of green on today's candle. So the good thing about this is that it is a higher low from the most recent low that we've had. And so if we can get a higher high, then we're just forming that continuation up pattern. Touching on the oscillators a little bit here before I left, I don't remember if I had said, I don't think the bull or the buy signal, the hard buy signal had printed yet. But we did have, I think the cross was there, and I was mentioning that the buy signal would print. We did get that. We got a little bit of continuation off of that. Obviously, if you would have bought right here, that would not. Right now, you would have been in profit because you would have bought on the open of this candle, but it wouldn't have necessarily been the perfect buy target if you were looking at it yesterday. So all that said, I still expect price to continue upwards here. We're still getting upward momentum there. And so not much to say on the MACD. There was nothing super conclusive here other than the fact that we got the 2 green signals here, and then we continued from there. We got a little bit of a dip from yesterday's candle. So these are just showing continuation. But there, other than this cross right here in this buy signal, there wasn't a lot to get you into the market. And that personally, what I like to play if I'm looking at really big areas to buy or really significant areas where I would want to enter in the market, I would like to see 3 drives of bullish divergence, and that our chance for bullish divergence failed on the stochastic when the stochastic broke the low where we had the previous previous drive of bullish divergence here. So I will end the analysis for the master strategy there. Just going to continue on. Looks like things are looking okay there. Since I have the moons enabled here, I did want to touch on that real quickly. So that looks like the last bearish moon did play out. The next bullish moon should be in the next 3 days, I believe. And so in the context of seeing upwards continuation and potentially getting a bullish moon print, those would be nice, provide some nice confluence for that potentially happening. So we'll just have to see how those end up playing out. That is all I have for the markets right now. As I mentioned, I want to get back and do some more building. So I hope everyone had a good holiday, as I mentioned before, and we will see you on the next one. Peace, quants.